There's a lot of dialogue going on at the present time. You know, when you're the mayor for 20 years and people look at the record in the city of Elizabeth of never having to lay off a police officer or a fire officer, coming through this year with no tax increase and hiring more police and more fire, they look at the fourth largest city and say, you know, it's being run in a very capable way. So I'm honored that my name is being mentioned, but it's, you know, it's a process in New Jersey where county chairmen and certain power brokers decide who gets organizational lines, and that dialogue is going to continue for the next couple of months.
Well, the response first sounded like a campaign commercial there, so you got your ducks in a row should you decide to go.
You know, it's an interesting process trying to become the nominee of the Democratic Party. I mean, Cory Booker clearly is a front runner, the mayor of Newark. He has the ability to raise an awful lot of money very quickly. He's also polls well against the governor.
So if Cory goes, you don't?
I'm not, there's no way that...
If Cory doesn't go?
Then it's going to be an open, debatable process, and we're going to see what happens during that process. There's an awful lot of talented people out there who can stand up and match up with the governor.
But few have your kind of experience, which you just ran down. You are running for a sixth term. You've won your primary. There's general consensus that in Elizabeth, if you've won the Democratic primary, you're in again. So most people say you're in again. You mentioned power brokers. You've met with some of them, haven't you?
Well, I constantly talk with people, you know, and
who have you spoken with?
I've spoken with Senator Raymond Lesniak, who's my state senator, and the senator and I are very close over the last 30 years in government. Senator Lesniak is someone who clearly talks about the issues that affect New Jersey, and he's someone who plays a role not only in state politics but in state government.
Well, there was talk just before his recent brief illness that he was trying to get you and Mr. Norcross together, perhaps on a golf course or something like that? Is that
well,
true?
George Norcross and I have played golf in the past, and we look forward to a friendly golf game in the future. And golf is a way to discuss not only the issues that affect New Jersey, but the politics of New Jersey.
Has he indicated to you that he would back you?
No one's indicated to anyone that they would support anyone at this time. There's an awful lot of things up in the air about a dialogue. Some people say the governor's not running. Some people say that this person will run. Some people will say this person will run. You know, that's the great thing about Jersey politics is we're not even through the presidential election of 2012, and we're already discussing who the Democratic nominee will be for governor in 2013, whether Governor Chris Christie is going to stand for re-election or not stand for re-election.
If he does, he's beatable in your mind? You
know, I think any Democrat starts with 45 or 47% of the vote immediately. And I think the election against Governor Christie is going to be extremely close. And I think it's his attitude that people tend to fall in love with, chasing a person down the boardwalk with an ice cream cone, is something that some people think is absolutely terrific.
So you think maybe he's gone too far in some of his behavior?
Well, I don't, you know, he's quoted in the paper the other day about, you know, standing up to bullies. And it's very ironic that he's quoted as someone who stands up to bullies. Most of the state thinks he's a bully. So
do you think he's a bully?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's a give and take in process here. I believe that if it's either Governor Christie's highway or no highway, and clearly there needs to be more of a democratic process where people's ideas come into play, and then you take a little bit of what's on one side, a little bit on the other side, and you make it policy for the state of New Jersey.
What's the most important thing you've learned in all your years as mayor of Elizabeth that you would bring to a position like that, do you think?
Well, economic development is something that we've done extremely well with in Elizabeth. I mean, we took a 166-acre landfill and created the Jersey Gardens Mall. We've been able to hold taxes down this year. We've hired police and firemen, maintained a stable crime rate in the city of Elizabeth. So being the mayor is an executive position that clearly you get to focus on making decisions. And the way we do things in the city of Elizabeth is bring me a set of options, let's make a decision, and let's move forward with that decision.
Last question, we only have a few seconds left here. When you make the decision to run, when would you expect that to be?
Well, I think it's a process, you know, to tie one into a timeline in any way, shape, or form with all of the talented players out there is really unrealistic.
Mayor, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me, Mike.